We are about 9 Sundays away from Chicago Bears playing real football or meaningful football. And what better way to spend this dead period in the offseason than to go through record predictions? We're going to be starting out with the Chicago Bears and making our way through all 32 NFL teams before the season starts. So, what better way to do that by starting with the Chicago Bears? What is up, guys? Welcome back to SoBackSports, and I'm so back with another video. And today we're going to be doing a record prediction. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Put your record prediction before we start this video down in the comments below. Always remember to like and subscribe to the channel. We're about to hit 700 subscribers, hopefully very soon with your guys' help. So feel free to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And let's get on with the video. So we're going to be talking about the Chicago Bears. And I've talked about the Chicago Bears ad nauseum at this point. And we're going to be starting off with a Monday Night Football game, against the Minnesota Vikings. And right now, it doesn't specify what games there are, but I'll try to do my best to remember which kind of game it is. As of right now, it is a home game against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. It's going to be interesting because Minnesota, we have to also talk about how they have a quarterback situation with JJ McCarthy. I think JJ McCarthy will be a pretty solid quarterback for uh, McConnell and O'Connell, excuse me. And the team as a whole is, built for, whoever's at quarterback, they will be able to thrive necessarily. And the difference is we're going to have to see, will a rookie quarterback who is, missed his rookie season and is going into a second year, but it's technically his rookie season. Oh, can he, produce with this offense? And you have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and whatnot. I think they'll be fine. I think, the Minnesota Vikings are a solid team, but it's going to be at home for the Chicago Bears. And it's going to be Ben Johnson's true NFL debut as a head coach for the Chicago Bears. And it's going to be definitely a tough one. It's going to be Monday Night Football. You will have a lot of time to rest, and it's going to be interesting to say the least. I feel like we're going to be losing this game. And listen, I agree that Minnesota right now has question marks at the quarterback position. I just think that it will definitely be a close game, and it will be one of those games where it's kind of like, a shock or like necessarily welcome to the NFL head coaching spot moment for Ben Johnson. Could the Chicago Bears sneak out a win? I believe they can. They definitely could. It's just that, just for the sake of, continuity. And I think that down the line, the Chicago Bears will get their get back. But I just think that to start off, they're going to start with an L. And then they're going to be going to Ford Field to face the Detroit Lions. And listen, this is going to be a huge game, especially with Ben Johnson going back to Ford Field, to the team that he eventually left for the Chicago Bears. And with the bitterness that he left in, with, losing the NFC divisional round game, that, like, at the end of the day, it wasn't necessarily his fault, because he did all he could. It wasn't Jared. It wasn't him that threw all those interceptions. It wasn't uh, Jameson Williams throwing that. Throwing that interception. It would, if it weren't for him, it would still be one less interception away. The offense was clicking relatively well. Just that the quarterback was causing most of the issues. Did I see Ben Johnson call a perfect game? Not really, but at the same time, he still gave a lot for this organization. But enough of that. It's going to be a big game, and I think the Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson will get his revenge. Not necessarily revenge, but it will be going into Ford Field and getting a win away, and that will kickstart potentially a good run for before the bye week. For the next game, it's at home against the Dallas Cowboys. It's a big question for me: is Schottenheimer as a head coach? That's really my big question, because there is a chance he could be good. Like right now, it seems like a very dumb pick for Jerry Jones, and I still kind of believe that too. But you can never count out coaches necessarily, especially when you're coming away from Mike McCarthy, who has been a solid head coach for the Dallas Cowboys for quite some time. But with Schottenheimer at the forefront of this team, How will he be able to call, a play? We have to really see. And obviously, you're going to be facing Matt Eberflus at home. Yeah, the Bears fans definitely want that to be a W. Very much so. Me specifically, I need to see that defense get cooked, 100%. So for that being said, I think the Bears are going to win because they're going to go off of that mad energy. Jalen Johnson for sure, especially with the words he had to say to Matt Eberflus after that Thanksgiving Day game at Detroit. I think, yeah, Dallas, you're in for a world of hurt. I really hope so because I cannot see. Oh my God, if Matt Eberflus wins against us, I don't know what I would do. But let's move on. Let's not talk about that. We're currently now 2-1. The Raiders away at Allegiant Stadium. Ooh, I still think that's a Bears win. Yeah, I think that's a Bears win. I mean, Geno Smith is good, but that offensive line for the Raiders is a big question mark because how well will Ashton Genty play on the Raiders? Because he's definitely going to be their main back. Ooh, and then Pete Carroll's your head coach too, which it's pretty good. Especially with working with Geno Smith in Seattle in his first year before, eventually leaving. I think the Bears will still win. I think the Bears have it in them to win. And then bye week 5. Personally, I don't like the idea of having or that early of a bye week. Oh, and then we had to face the Commanders away again. The amount of times I've seen the Hail Mary at this point, it's a must win for the Chicago Bears. Genuinely, we could have won the last game too, and I think we're going to be in a better position to win this time too. We are a little bit more improved than the Commanders are this year. I think that if it weren't for Matt Eberflus's antics, I think the Bears could have won that game. But I digress. I think that the Bears have a really good shot to win, and I think Caleb Williams will get his revenge against the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels. At home against the Saints. Here's the tricky thing. When I've noticed about the Chicago Bears in the past is that they lose to teams that they should win against. But I think that even for coaches like Ben Johnson and even regular coaches, they tend to lose to random teams. I feel like this is one of those teams where it's going to be like the Bears are coming off a really high of beating the Commanders, and they just kind of like have an average game against the Saints, and for some reason the Saints are giving them trouble even though it's not necessarily a good team. Ooh. But I still think that the Bears win. The Saints aren't good enough, I feel. It's kind of tough for me to think that the Bears would lose to the Saints. But can I see it happening? Yeah, I feel like it's one of those freak games where it's like, it just one-off games. But I give the Chicago Bears the edge over them. And oh my God, we're going 5-1 into Baltimore. And this is where the schedule gets really wonky. Because for the Chicago Bears, it's very vital for them that they have, this record, at least a 5-1 record before going into this gauntlet against the AFC North. You're facing the Ravens. Lamar Jackson technically is facing the starting Bears quarterback for the first time in his career. And he's going to be facing it at his home turf. This is going to be one of the tougher matchups for the Chicago Bears specifically because you're going up against a potential Super Bowl contender in the Baltimore Ravens at home. I don't see the Bears winning this one, unfortunately. As much as I would love to see them win, which if my Baltimore Ravens friend is watching right now, if you guys lose to us at home, you'll never hear the end of it for me. I just think the Ravens should win this one. It's hard for me to see unless something crazy happens and Caleb Williams is extremely into form, like playing like an MVP. And Lamar Jackson's like having a really like average season. It's not having anything great. But the Baltimore Ravens are built so well, dude. It's so hard for me to say. And you have to also stop Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and they have a really solid defense. And you're facing against Jair Alexander again. I would love for the Bears to beat Jair Alexander. Don't get me wrong. I would love for that to happen, but I just don't see it right now. So the Bears will lose this one. Bengals, I think the Bears should win this one. I think like the defensive wise, I think the Bears have a really solid defense over the Bengals, especially with the whole contract situation from Trey Hendrickson. It could eventually be resolved. Trey Hendrickson plays, Shamar Stewart plays. Is it Stewart? Yeah, Stewart, Shamar Stewart. I'm mixing up with Shamar Turner because but they're both edge rushers at the end of the day. It just I think that with the whole situation, I think Bengals have a really good offense, and they have a big question mark at the running back spot. I think Chase Brown is going to be their running back one, which he's really good. Illinois represent, I just think the Bears have a better team. Um, Overall, it's just that they paid Joe Burrow, they paid the T Higgins and Jamar Chase. They'll have an offensive that's really solid, but the defense for the Bengals are going to be really tough. Moving on to week 10, at home against the Giants. It really depends on who starts. I think if Russ starts, it's like maybe, but I just don't think the Giants have enough as a team to beat the Bears. I just think it's a pretty relatively easy win for the Bears. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. It's just that they have to figure out who their starting quarterback is. They did improve defensively. I'm talking about the Giants. And I just think Scatabo is really good as a running back. I just feel like their offensive line has to still improve a little bit more for them to be more successful. Jackson Dart, if he starts by then, maybe that's even an easier win too, because it's a rookie quarterback. It depends really. Moving on to week 11 away, we're going to be facing the Vikings. I think this is where we get our get back and we win. The last time we won at USA Bank Arena, I think that's what they're called, stadium, we had Justin Fields and he led a game-winning drive. So I think Caleb will get his get back from last time when he went to Minnesota. So he will be getting his get back for sure. And we're going to be going against the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers at home. Oh my God. Please, Bears. Please. I need the Bears to win this one. If there's a game besides the Packers games that I really need the Chicago Bears to win, it is against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers is pretty much said that he's going to retire after this season. This is our last opportunity to send him away with an L. It's all I ask. Really, I do. I really ask that. And I just think that for the sake of me hoping, I really hope the Bears win this one for the sake of my sanity. Moving on to week 13 at Lincoln Financial Stadium. I think the Eagles win this one. There's really not much else to say. I just think the Eagles are just a better team. Yeah, I just think that there's a better team. The Bears at Green Bay. I feel like we will. I feel like we'll win this one for sure. I think we can win at Lambeau. I think we can win again, back-to-back years in Lambeau against the Cleveland Browns. It's not that tricky because the team as a whole isn't that great. They still have 5 quarterbacks on their roster, but by then it probably would be just increased to like 3. Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, who's probably not even going to play, and then Shadur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel. You still have Myles Garrett on that defense. That defense still is not that impressive due to the fact that they're very top heavy. I think that hmm, I think the Bears can still win that. I don't know why. I still think that they can. Week 16 at home against Green Bay. Uh, it's tricky. I th- I feel like we might split with Green Bay. Whoops. I think we will split with Green Bay. As much as I hate to say that, I think we might because I was at home too. Nah, you know what? Screw it. Chicago Bears will win this one. We're gonna be 12-3 by then. Yeah. I think the 49ers take this one because it's at home and they have a relatively easy schedule, very easy schedule. So it's gonna be very tough for the Chicago Bears, and I think back-to-back years Brock Purdy gets the win, and I think the Bears will lose Week 18 at home against the Lions because at that point it's gonna be yeah. Oh, dude, I don't know. Okay, let's go back with the thing. Let's look through it again. 13-4 seems interesting. Um, because let me say this. In reality, given our current team and the expectations with them, and even with a relatively hard schedule, I can see this happening. Will it happen? That's really debatable because the team as a whole has to, gel. Caleb has to really learn a new offense, and it really just comes down to can the defense hold up, without a proper edge rusher at the end to Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat has to come out healthy still, and Javon Dexter has to have a really solid year. So I think that this is not out of the question. This could be seem very biased. This is a very early prediction. I'm just saying based on what I feel with each team and going against each other. I still think that this is pretty good. This is a pretty good way to go about it. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this record. Where would you see a loss or where would you actually see a win in this? Let me know down in the comments below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Always remember to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 700 subscribers by the end of this month. I think we can do that with your guys' help. Always remember to follow the socials down below. I post on TikTok as well. That's going to do it for today's video. And as always, guys, we'll see you guys in the next one.